Hello, English 4 students. I'm going to do a few recordings in a row today to kind of get you up to speed on this second draft assignment here from the compare contrast. So you should have already filled out this worksheet and then taken all the information from that and copied and pasted it into the first draft assignment. And that's just getting preparation for this one right here. There's a lot of instructions for this one just to get your draft kind of flushed out into a larger workable draft that we're going to use next week with some peer review and stuff like that. But so I'm going to do several smaller videos that you can refer to today. The first thing we're going to do is get that started in the second draft template. So I've already gone in here and made a copy of this one so that I can show this one to you here and go through this with you. So first thing is I'm going to go to that compare contrast first draft where I have copied and pasted all that information, which would have been the stuff about the first item and then the second one you're comparing it to. And then, of course, the third section will be the compare and contrast info, like how you were saying how they're similar, how they're different, and then which one of the two items you would choose, which one you're recommending or which one you're saying that you would buy. So I only have one paragraph, the fake one that I made up that's on the example for that worksheet. So I'm just going to use that, but you should have more than this. You should have the two items and the compare contrast section. And so that's all on here. So I'm going to copy it all. My copy paste hasn't been working on this very well. So we'll see what happens. I think maybe my control button is stuck here. But so I just copied that and I'm going to go over to here and I'm going to Control Shift V. It actually worked this time. Okay. And that pasted it without formatting with Control Shift V. So it's the same. Because this template that we have right here is set up to be ready for an MLA essay, right? So I, as you see, I went through and I made all this stuff kind of into a paragraph, all the stuff from the first section, and you should do that for all three of those sections that you have. And let's go through and look at this template a little bit too for this first video. So what you're going to want to do is first, you're going to highlight, put in your name, and I'm going to make up some name, Chuckle Snort Johnson the third. Okay, but you should use your actual first and last name on there. Mr. Ryden, because it's my class, so you put Mr. Ryden, that's the instructor's name. Comp and Lit 4 is the name of the class. You don't need to put sections or periods. I see people putting a section after this, another line, but it should be in that line with that if you actually do for a class. And then date submitted in year, month, day format. So you're going to submit this by Sunday, especially if you're in class Monday, because if you don't, you're going to need this in class Monday to work with us in doing some formatting stuff. If you're a Tuesday student, obviously that'll work out a little bit differently because we're going to work on in class on that day, but you're going to need to do your at-home stuff. And if you're remote, your schedule is a little more liquid. But I'm going to put in the date that this one is going to be turned in, which is going to be this Sunday, which in this case is the 16, 17, 18 space October space 2020. So it goes, that's wrong, isn't it? Sorry, it goes year, month, and day. Hey, I'm not perfect, okay? 2020, October 18. All right, that's how it should look. The full word October, not shortened with a period, not 18th with a TH, 18. That's the MLA format. And I'm going to make my title here really quick. So in this case, I'm just going to make up I'm not going to make up anything too clever. You can make it like, hey, how's it going, Beth? You can make it like about the dueling speakers or Frosby wins out or whatever. But this is all you really have to put is Frosby Mega. This is for mine, obviously, Mega 3 versus the Unz Angle 3. Okay, the Unz is a real speaker. The Frosby is a made-up one. But that's just fine for my title for this compare and contrast essay. As I look up here, I double-click and I'm in the header area. See, it's different first page. This is already set up. You shouldn't mess with this at all. Your header on your first page should be blank. You go to the second page, and there it is. I have last name and 2. This is a page number, so it'll increase every time I get to another page here, right? So I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to change it from last name to the last name, which I think I put Johnson. Okay, so now that is on there, and you'll see if I go on to subsequent pages, it numbers it up for me because I didn't mess with that. So make sure you do it that way. Control Z. There we go. And then here I have the works cited page that's separate, and this right here is a hanging indent. And so what a hanging indent does, it's sort of the opposite of a paragraph. So anytime you have subsequent lines, the first line goes all the way to the left, that any following ones in the entry are indented, the opposite of how a paragraph goes. And that's just the works cited way. That's just the way it is, right? I'm sure there's some very specific reason why they do that, but I don't know what it is, other than it looks a certain way, and that's what people are used to. I know what the history is behind that. So that is how I get it all set up. So you should have that pasted in there. I'm going to go ahead and add my tabs in. You should have basically 3 body paragraphs right now that look really rough, that look like this, that are just like even repeat according to blah, 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 according to blah, blah, blah. And we're going to go and fix that later. So, okay, that is part 1 of this, how to get this set up. We're going to go on to works cited entries and in-text citation for part 2. All righty.